Hi, Joey with Created in Awe here. I have a detailed project for you today, so we are going to get started. This is the Trimmings 1 mold from IOD. I first put cornstarch in it with a pretty big paintbrush so that the air dry clay I'm going to use, which is DOS in white, can release easily. I make a snake of that clay. I used a brayer to flatten it out, and then I used my thumb and fingers to remove the excess off the edges. When I release it from the mold, I do have a little more flashing, so I'm just using a palette knife to kind of cut that away from the edges. And apparently my phone stopped recording, so this is actually the second piece I've made because I'm going to make a total of 4. The first one I already glued onto this frame that is from Rust Covered Cottage. I'll give you all of the supply information in the comments. I'm using matte gel, an art medium, to glue it, and I am shaping it to the frame. It is still soft. I've also put a little bit of glue in between the pieces, which is important in case it shrinks as it dries. There's the third piece, which really surprisingly, actually I cut in half to fit both ends to come down to the bottom edge of the frame. It was shocking, but it worked out. And I glued them on the same way, just tucked them in. Each end of that mold perfectly fits to the other end. And then one more piece fit across the bottom, cut at an angle, glued it down all the same way. Cleaned off that excess glue with a wet wipe. Now there's the back piece of the frame I'm using. It is now painted black very quickly, and I'm stenciling this stencil from Magnolia called I Sought the Lord. I'm using lots of colors of paste here. I'll list them all in the comments. This one is a brand new one called Pink Harmony, and each flower is getting a different color. So this does take a little while. It's tedious. I will skip ahead. I used a creamy white color on the word, so I wanted it to look like sunlight kind of coming through. Not really white, but a little bit creamy. So there's one flower. I'm going to move on to another flower. And you don't have to see the whole thing. We're going to skip ahead. But I do lift in between each flower so that the paste doesn't get dried into the mesh. And then I lay it back down. And I am touching up some places that were thin. A little bit of paint got messed up. And you'll see the finish here in a minute. This is antique wax from Waverly. My clay is still wet, so I'm using a soft brush to work it down in. And then I'm wiping back the excess with a wipe so that it looks like wood. Now I'm going to glue it on. In sections I have Titebond Thick and Quick, and I have some Stick Fast thick glue. That'll give me my immediate hold. And I will press it down here carefully. I used a paper towel just so I didn't get more wax all over my hands. But that's it. I know it was quick. I will put the supplies in the comments. I appreciate you watching Created in Awe. You have a great day.